If you're looking for the cheapest and most reliable Madden 22 coins on the market, check out my sponsor, MMOEXPR.com. Links are in the description, and use code JEDI at checkout for 5% off. Alrighty, hey there guys, Adrian Cassie here, KJEDI95, coming at you guys with another video. So in this video, guys, I'm going to be coming at you guys with one player for every team I would like to see for Madden 23. Now, I did talk about this last year, talking about players I would like to see in Madden 23. So honestly, I decided to do it a little bit different this year. I want to do it to where I basically do one for every team, because every team I think needs, you know, some more legend players, some more historic players to be added into the game, especially if they have the rights to those players in question or whatever. So, but with that being said, guys, we're going to start off right away. We're just going to jump right into it. No formalities or else. Whatever. So the first one, we're going to start off in the AFC North. I'm going to break this down by division. So first off, we're going to start off with the Steelers, and I'm going to say James Harrison. Now, James Harrison, he was in Madden 21. Five-time Pro Bowler, two-time All-Pro, won a Defensive Player of the Year, two-time Super Bowl champion. You know, they give the Steelers a good amount of years. I think, yeah, he gave them about over a decade of action with them. And, yeah, he was consistently pretty good, one of the best pass rushers in the league for his career during his time in Pittsburgh. Next, we'll move on to the Bengals, and I'm actually going to go with a tackle with Willie Anderson. Willie Anderson, again, a lot of great years, 10 plus years for the Bengals in the tackle spot. Definitely did have a lot of good years. Again, a 4-time Pro Bowl, 3-time All-Pro selection. For the Ravens, I'm gonna go with Adalius Thomas. Now, he was definitely in Madden 21. I mean, keep in mind that the players that I'm also talking about are not in Madden 22 at all. I made sure of that. So the last game they were in was in Madden 21, and they're obviously going to be continuing on. But Adalius Thomas, you know, did give the Ravens about a good 6 years. Then he went on to New England. You know, he was okay. He had some solid years with the Ravens and the Patriots. Definitely did not really reach the impact he had with the Ravens compared to the Patriots. As in, like, he had a better impact on the Ravens. Next, for the Browns, I'm going to be going with Tim Couch. Now, Tim Couch really doesn't have a whole lot to go with, as he only gave the Browns 5 seasons. But, to be completely honest, I did not know who to pick for the Browns, because, quite honestly, the Browns franchise as a whole, ever since they came back as an actual team, have not been very good. So, I honestly do not know who I would honestly say for the Browns. So, but that's going to wrap up the AFC North. Moving on to the AFC East, starting off with the Buffalo Bills, I'm going to be going with a wide receiver with Andre Reed. Now, he did give the Bills about a good decade from 1985 till about 1999 before he went on to Washington. But during his prime, he was a 7-time Pro Bowler, and he also was consistently near the 1,000-yard receiving mark, as you see some years going over that. Especially in the no-huddle offense era from 1990 to the 1994. He was putting up about 5,000 yards within those 4 seasons. So, you know, it'd be kind of cool to see a different wide receiver in the game. I don't think he was in Madden 22. I'm almost certain he wasn't. Next, for the Patriots, I'm going to go with Deion Branch. Now, this one is maybe a bit of a personal one for me because he did play for the Seahawks. But on the same token, though, I like Deion Branch. I went with Deion Branch because I really don't know who else I could have picked for this Patriots. I feel like a lot of the Patriots greats are already in the game. You know, Mike Hayes, John Hanna, Brady, obviously, Randy Moss, Darrelle Revis. You know, all these guys that have played for the Patriots at one point or another are in the game. So I kind of felt like I kind of needed to go with Deion Branch. Just because, you know, I really didn't think of anybody else, to be completely honest with you. Plus, he won 2 Super Bowls with them, and he was the Super Bowl MVP in Super Bowl 36, so may as well. For the Jets, I'm going to be going with Don Maynard. Don Maynard was a consistent Pro Bowl, well, not consistent, but he was a decent Pro Bowl talent. He did end up having a couple of good years with the Jets. You know, one year he led the league in receiving yards, he led the league in average yards per reception, led the league in touchdowns, led the league in yards per game a couple of years. In 1967 he did. Absolutely. He won a Super Bowl with them, was an All-Pro, and was an AFL champion, and was a 4-time Pro Bowler. So, you know, Don Maynard, definitely somebody that I would like to see coming into the game. And this I just realized recently. He actually just passed away about a few months ago. He actually passed away at the beginning of the year. So, yeah, it would be nice to see Don Maynard. Moving on to the last of the AFC East, I'm going to be going with the Dolphins, and I'm going to be picking Mark Clayton. Mark Clayton, I know for certain, was in the Madden 21, and it would be cool to see Mark Clayton come back. The issue is the fact that he is a very small receiver. I don't think people would be very happy to see him, but to counteract, I say, hey, we had Wes Welker last year, and people made a fucking campaign to get him, so I don't see why not. But anyhow, Mark Clayton, not a bad receiver in his prime, led the league in touchdowns twice, had some great years with Dan Marino, 13, almost 1,000 yard, 3 consecutive 1,000 yard seasons, had some good receiving yards throughout the years, then he went to Green Bay, and he wasn't the greatest, but, that was the end of his career, so. But that is going to do it for the AFC East. Moving on to the AFC South, I'm going to pick Arian Foster for the Texans. To be completely honest, the Texans, again, don't really have a whole lot of history with their franchise, much like the Browns. But Arian Foster, I'm pretty sure he was not in Madden 22. I am almost certain he wasn't. But Arian Foster, one of the better backs the NFL had in the 2010s, was an All-Pro, was a Pro Bowl. Pro Bowler, won Most Improved Player from 2009 to 2010. So, it definitely would be cool to see Arian Foster make a return to the game next year. Next, we move on to the Titans. We've got Kevin Dyson. Now, the only reason I have Kevin Dyson on here is because, again, for the Titans, I don't really think they have too much to go with, because you got guys like, say, for example, Javon Curse, Steve McNair, those guys are in the game already. Kevin Dyson, definitely is most remembered for his Music City Miracle, which is the only reason why I actually have him in this, because of the Music City Miracle. So yeah, put Kevin Dyson in. I think that would be kind of cool. Next for the Colts, we have Marvin Harrison. I don't know why he was not in Madden 22. I think that was a little funny. They had Reggie Wayne, but they did not have Marvin Harrison. But Marvin Harrison, Pro Bowler, All-Pro, 2000s All-Decade, Super Bowl champion. Marvin Harrison, just absolutely one of the best receivers of the 2000s. Had some great years with Peyton Manning, obviously. And actually finished second in Offensive Player of the Year voting. All this just greatness that great things that Marvin Harrison had, I should say. Next, we have for the Jaguars, Mark Brunell for the Jaguars. Now, again, the Jaguars are not a historic franchise by any means, but when it comes to the Jaguars, Mark Brunell is easily the best quarterback they've had in their franchise, as he's a 3-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, won about 78 of his games. Actually helped take the Jaguars to a couple of AFC championship games before losing in those games. I don't remember who they lost to, but yeah, all in all, just a solid quarterback that I think that would be kind of cool to see in the game. Next, we have Jamal Charles. Moving on to the final division for the AFC, moving on to the AFC West, we have Jamal Charles. He was not in Madden 21 for some reason, or Madden 22 for some reason. I would think he should be back for Madden 23. Actually, he wasn't Madden 21. He wasn't Madden 22. My apologies. So it would be nice to have Jamal Charles back for Madden 23. A lot of people were not so happy to see him not come back for 22, and myself included. I think Jamal Charles is definitely a player, especially with how the game plays for Madden 23. I think they should absolutely bring him back. Speaking of players that were not in Madden 22 that absolutely need to come back, Shannon Sharp, he needs to return for Madden 23. 8-time All-Pro, 4-time Pro Bowler, was in Madden 21. His card was really, really good. His Madden 22 card was a very, very good card. But for some reason, he was never, he was not in Madden 22. And I don't understand it. One of the greatest tight ends of all time, definitely does need to be in Madden 23. I don't know why he wasn't in 22. For the Chargers, I'm going to be going with Phillip Rivers, easily the greatest quarterback they've had in their franchise's history. Phillip Rivers, with the Chargers, easily the greatest quarterback they had, and was consistently a Pro Bowl talent with them. One comeback player of the year in 2013. It's just definitely somebody that needs to be in the game, in my opinion, and I don't see why he shouldn't be. He was definitely a great player in his time, and obviously he was a Charger. And then finally for the Raiders, I'm going to go with Tim Brown. Tim Brown was one of the best receivers of the late 80s, early 90s for his team. He was consistently above 1,100 yards throughout the years, and this was with garbage quarterback play for the most part. Tim Brown was an incredible player, 9-time Pro Bowler, 90s all Hall of Fame team or all decade. Yeah, just absolutely insane numbers. Did not win the Super Bowl that he probably should have had in the 2002 season, but they went up against one of the greatest defenses of all time in the Buccaneers. So, but anyways, guys, that is gonna do it for my video. This is every team's one player for every team I would like to see for Madden 23. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comment section below, guys. The next video going to be tomorrow is going to be talking about the NFC, what I think should be for every single team in the NFC. So stay tuned for that, guys. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out.